We have thousands of human bones scattered around the shores of this lake.
In the icy depths of our planet, there are frozen mummies revealing ancient civilizations, eerie alien skulls, dormant viruses spanning millennia, and a chilling tale of a bloody fall in the heart of the South Pole. These are few of the unsolved enigmas that prove how much remains hidden about Earth. Join us in this special episode as we unveil the most mysterious things found trapped in ice. Ötzi the Iceman. In 1991, high up in the Ötztal Alps on the border between Austria and Italy, some hikers stumbled upon an incredible discovery. They found a mummy known as Ötzi the Iceman, or the Similon Man, partially emerging from the ice. Ötzi lived around 5,300 years ago during the late Neolithic period. He is one of the oldest human bodies ever found that has been naturally preserved. His body offers a fascinating glimpse into what life was like in Europe back then. Acting like a time capsule from ancient times, the way Ötzi remained so well preserved is genuinely astonishing. After he died, snow and ice quickly covered him, protecting his body from animals and decay. The icy conditions dried out his body, making him a natural mummy. The glacier's slow movement also helped keep him in remarkable condition for thousands of years. Ötzi wore a grass coat and a fur cap, showing he knew much about staying warm in the cold. His backpack had exciting tools like a copper axe, arrows, and a knife made of animal hide. These items tell us he was clever and could survive in the harsh alpine environment. Sadly, Ötzi's story took a dark turn when an arrowhead was found stuck in his shoulder, suggesting he met a violent end. Examining his body revealed he had health issues like joint problems and parasites in his stomach. He was likely well-traveled and part of a close-knit community, as shown by his preserved tattoos, which might have had special meanings. Today, Ötzi is displayed in a museum in Bolzano, Italy, and people, including researchers, still find him incredibly fascinating. Mysterious Lake of Skeletons. In 1942, a strange lake caught the world's eye when a forest ranger made a terrifying find. While wandering through the area, he came across the skeletal remains of countless human bodies scattered in and around the lake. At first, it seemed like a recent disaster, but deeper investigation revealed these bones were ancient, fascinating scientists, historians, and adventurers for many years. This lake, now known as Rupkund Lake, or Skeleton Lake, is in the majestic Himalayas at an astonishing height of around 5,029 meters. Some skeletons in the lake bear marks of blunt force trauma, possibly inflicted by giant hailstones, while others display signs of strikes from sharp objects. The varied physical traits and artifacts found with the remains suggest a gathering of people from different regions, adding an intriguing layer to the mystery of why they came to this remote place. Alien-like structure in ice. In 2013, Jason Nilsson and his friends strolled in Utah and stumbled upon a frozen lake. At first, everything seemed normal, but then Jason noticed something strange, a bizarre circle on the ice. The small holes gave the impression of an unsettling alien nest, with the central circle resembling a gigantic eye. Upon closer inspection, Jason discovered numerous white blobs, resembling alien eggs, that had melted into the ice. He posted a video online, which quickly garnered millions of views. No one knew what caused these strange formations until Claire Lewis came forward. Claire revealed that she was responsible for creating the geometric design as part of an art project. The white blobs, she explained, were made from flour and salt. She had crafted over 1,000 of these shapes for her project and left them on the icy lake. Incredible Ice Age Mammoth. In May 2007, a nomadic reindeer herder named Yuri Kuti made an extraordinary discovery on the Uribe River in the Yamal Peninsula of Russia. He found a 40,000-year-old baby, woolly mammoth Lyuba, exposed on the riverbank. This incredible find was one of only 5 baby mammoths discovered over 3 decades. Lyuba, which means love in Russian, was a nearly perfectly preserved, healthy female, just 1 to 2 months old. Research suggests that Lyuba wasn't buried where she was found, but was carried downstream by river or ice movement after eroding from the permafrost upstream. The exact location where Lyuba spent 40,000 years buried in the permafrost remains a mystery. After her discovery, Lyuba was relocated to Salakhard in Russia, where she was housed at the Salakhard Museum of Natural History and Ethnology. She was temporarily transferred to Japan for a computed tomography scan by Dr. Naoki Suzuki at the Jiki University School of Medicine in Tokyo. This scan, performed before other investigations, aimed to plan a partial autopsy with minimal disturbance to Lyuba's body. The CT scan revealed that Lyuba was in good health at the time of her death, but showed significant mud accumulation in her trunk, mouth, and trachea, suggesting that she suffocated in soft mud. Julio Telo's shocking discovery. In 1928, Julio Tello, a bold explorer fascinated by Antarctica's mysteries, led a daring expedition to the frozen continent. His team braved harsh conditions and extreme cold, venturing deep into the icy wilderness in search of geological and archaeological clues. During their journey, Tello's team encountered a surprising find: elongated skulls buried beneath the ice and snow. These skulls had an unusual shape, with elongated and pointed features, reminiscent of ancient civilizations like the Paracas culture of Peru and the ancient Egyptians. The discovery of these elongated skulls in Antarctica astonished scientists and researchers. It challenged established theories about the continent's history, suggesting the intriguing possibility of an unknown ancient civilization that once inhabited Antarctica. Since 2014, a wild story has been buzzing online, claiming that cone-shaped skulls found in Peru's Paracas region belong to aliens. This idea gained more traction when DNA tests supposedly revealed that these skulls weren't human, adding an extra layer of mystery. However, these tests could be more credible, and experts doubt the qualifications of those involved. The elongated skulls are likely just a result of people intentionally reshaping their heads, a practice seen in many cultures. Despite all the hype, reliable sources haven't supported the idea that these skulls are anything other than human. Millions of nests. A team of researchers recently discovered the world's largest known breeding fish colony, 500 meters below the ice in Antarctica's Weddell Sea. This fantastic find consists of around 60 million active nests of a specific ice fish, covering at least 240 square kilometers, nearly the size of Orlando, Florida. Scientists investigating the chemical links between the water's surface and the ocean floor accidentally discovered this discovery while towing a device behind their ice-breaking research ship to examine seafloor life. These ice fish belong to the Chenicthidae family and are unique to the Southern Ocean and Antarctic waters. They have adapted to the extreme cold with precise blood-containing antifreeze compounds. The reason behind the massive gathering of ice fish for breeding remains a mystery. Researchers suspect the area's abundant plankton, a crucial food source for newly hatched fish, might be a factor. Additionally, a slightly warmer water zone in the region could help the ice fish locate their breeding grounds. 2 seafloor cameras are stationed at the colony site, capturing photos 4 times daily over the next few years to see if the nests are reused. Purser considers this massive colony almost a new type of seafloor ecosystem, expressing surprise that it has never been observed before. The ghost yacht. Brazilian journalist and writer João Lara Mesquita sailed his 20-meter-long yacht, Mar Sem Fim, near King George Island in Fildes Bay, to film a documentary. On April 7, 2012, the yacht faced an accident near the Presidente Eduardo Frei Chilean Antarctic base, earning it the nickname Ghost Yacht. With 4 people aboard, strong winds exceeding 60 miles per hour pushed the boat against the ice, trapping it in the frost. The ice compression and severe weather conditions forced the crew to evacuate before the water could swallow the ship. As night descended, they witnessed the ice surrounding the yacht. By the following day, only the bow and signal pole were visible. About a month after the shipwreck, teams from the Chilean Navy and the Brazilian Navy dove into Bahia Fildes waters to check for pollution levels near the sinking site. They confirmed a diesel fuel leak from the boat, amounting to approximately 8,000 liters. Quick action was vital to clearing the ship from the area. The Brazilian Navy, as the ship's owner, began planning for its future recovery on February 2013. Taking advantage of good weather conditions, the Ultramar Rescue Company personnel entered Antarctic waters to transport the Brazilian yacht to Punta Arenas. After months stranded on the ice, it was lifted from the frigid waters with help from the Otway tugboat to this Chilean port, where it was eventually sold for scrap. Ancient meteorite from Mars. In 1984, scientists made a remarkable discovery in Antarctica, a meteorite believed to be from Mars. This rock, one of the most extensively studied, renewed interest in astrobiology and Mars exploration. Research indicates that a large object collided with Mars around 17 million years ago, forming a crater and ejecting debris into space. Some of this debris eventually reached Earth, landing near Allen Hills, a Y-shaped ridge in Antarctica. This area, dubbed Meteorite Heaven, has yielded over 22,000 space rocks, the most famous being ALH 84001. NASA scientists, including geologist David McKay, later confirmed this potato-sized chunk to be of Martian origin in 1996. ALH 84001 provided crucial insights into Mars's early environment around 4 billion years ago, when water likely existed on its surface. The discovery of ALH 84001 sparked a revolution in astrobiology and significantly influenced the search for extraterrestrial life. This meteorite continues to be a key to unlocking Mars's mysteries, with ongoing missions like NASA's Perseverance rover exploring the Martian terrain. Bloody Falls. One of the most enigmatic sights in Antarctica's McMurdo Dry Valleys is the Bloody Falls, a waterfall that appears to be made of blood. But don't be alarmed. The red color is due to iron in the water, the same element that gives Mars its reddish hue. For decades, scientists puzzled over the source of the iron. Eventually, underground imaging uncovered a complex network of subglacial rivers and a brine-filled lake rich in iron. This discovery explains why the Bloody Falls never freeze, despite Antarctica's freezing temperatures. Franklin expedition ships. The Franklin expedition ships, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, are linked to one of the most notorious tragedies in Arctic exploration. In 1845, Sir John Franklin, a British Royal Navy officer, led this expedition to uncover the elusive Northwest Passage, a legendary sea route through the Arctic, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Erebus and Terror were specially strengthened for harsh Arctic conditions, featuring steam engines, a vast library, scientific tools, and ample supplies for years. Despite these preparations, unexpected challenges arose. The ships got stuck in ice off King William Island, unable to break free as time passed. Sadly, the whole crew succumbed to the harsh conditions. The exact cause of their deaths remains uncertain, with theories ranging from lead poisoning to extreme cold exposure. For years, the fate of the Franklin expedition was a mystery. Yet, through expeditions and archaeological efforts, the story gradually unfolded. The discovery of Erebus in the 60s and Terror in 2016, astonishingly well preserved on the Arctic seabed, provided crucial insights into the expedition's final days. It's a captivating and wow-worthy journey through history and the frozen depths of the Arctic. Mercury in the melting permafrost. Recently, scientists made a troubling discovery that has sparked fear worldwide. A large amount of harmful mercury is hidden deep in the melting permafrost of the Arctic. This alarming finding is causing great concern among environmentalists and researchers about the fragile balance of the Arctic ecosystem. To illustrate the seriousness of the situation, this 56 million liters or 15 million gallons of mercury is the largest mercury deposit on Earth, far exceeding the levels found in non-permafrost soils. The implications of this hidden mercury are significant and unsettling. With global temperatures rising and the permafrost thawing, there is a high risk of releasing this toxic substance into the environment. Once released, mercury can spread in various ways, posing a significant threat to ecosystems and human health. One primary concern is that mercury could leak into the water supply. Because it tends to accumulate in aquatic creatures, it may move up the food chain, reaching harmful levels for marine and terrestrial animals. This buildup of mercury in fish and wildlife poses significant health risks for people who consume contaminated food. But that's not all. Releasing mercury into the air can cause it to travel long distances, contaminating areas far from its source. This airborne spread of mercury amplifies the global scope of the issue, heightening worries about widespread environmental pollution and the need for countries to collaborate to address these impacts. The Pico de Orizaba mummies. High on the slopes of Mexico's Pico de Orizaba, the tallest volcano in North America, a surprising and chilling discovery sent shockwaves through the climbing community and local authorities. It resembled a scene from a gripping crime investigation TV show like CSI. The intense moment unfolded when a climber slipped and stumbled upon an unexpected sight, a mummified head and arm protruding from the snow. Shock turned to alarm, prompting the climber to alert the authorities swiftly. News of the discovery quickly spread, capturing widespread attention. Authorities ventured to the remote location to investigate, uncovering something intriguing and unsettling. Two more frozen mummies emerged, preserved in the icy grasp of Pico de Orizaba. Among the investigators, an unexpected twist emerged. 81-year-old Luis Espinosa, who had been part of a tragic expedition on these slopes in 1959, came forward with astonishing revelations. Luis Espinosa claimed to recognize one of the mummies, not by their face, but by their distinct clothing and jewelry. A man's shirt and a ring with initials provided the essential clues. His memories provided crucial context for the authorities, confirming that these were the remains of individuals lost during that ill-fated expedition over 6 decades ago. Contagious Molly virus. In 2015, a highly adventurous team of scientists embarked on a groundbreaking expedition to icy Siberia in Russia. The scientists primarily focused on studying permafrost dynamics and its potential impact on climate. They made an unexpected discovery during their deep digs and sample collections in the Kolyma River region. Upon thawing a sample, they identified a tiny organism resembling a virus. But here's the twist. It wasn't just any virus. It turned out to be a new type of giant virus, akin to previously discovered ones like pandoraviruses and pithoviruses. The mollyvirus belongs to the giant viruses group due to its size, which can be up to 10 times larger than typical viruses, and its complex genetic makeup. This virus had remained frozen for thousands of years, yet retained its infectious capability when thawed. This finding sparked concerns among scientists. As global temperatures rise, melting permafrost could potentially release ancient viruses and bacteria into the environment. Burial site of Inca maiden. In 1995, 3 mountain explorers discovered the mummified body of the Inca maiden, Juanita, on Mount Amparo in the Andes Mountains of Peru. Her skin, hair, and clothes remained intact, almost as if she had just lived. Juanita was adorned in traditional Inca garments and surrounded by offerings like pottery, fabrics, and tools, which were placed there as gifts to the gods. She was likely a young girl, perhaps 12 to 15 years old, chosen for a sacred ritual known as capacocha, or color rite, where maidens were ceremonially offered to the gods in the mountains. Her journey to Mount Amparo would have been arduous, yet deeply significant. Today, Juanita rests in a carefully controlled environment at the Museo Santuarios Andinos in Arequipa, Peru. Cave bear, frozen in time. In 2020, Russian scientists made an incredible discovery in the icy lands of the Russian Arctic, a perfectly frozen cave bear, aged about 3,500 years old. The scientists stumbled upon the astonishing remains on the Liakovsky Islands. Moreover, the bear's body was preserved in the permafrost, with its fur, teeth, and internal organs looking like when it was alive. During the Ice Age, cave bears roamed from about 2.6 million to 11,700 years ago. These large, herbivorous animals were relatives of today's brown bears and thrived in icy conditions. They favored caves, which served as their cozy homes. This particular cave bear remained so well preserved due to the permafrost. The intensely cold Arctic temperatures prevented its decay, keeping its flesh, fur, and bones in remarkable condition. Before diving back into the video, let our subscribers pick for today. On your screen, you'll see an image featuring mysterious gray human-like figures seemingly trapped in ice, barely covered by the blistering cold. While we can't verify the authenticity of this picture, if these figures are indeed humans, they've likely reached a critical state. At this stage, they wouldn't just suffer from frostbite, they might be in the process of being mummified alive. Have you ever seen a living thing stuck in ice? How do you think a human could last in such conditions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Lost Soviet cruiser. In March 2022, a team of explorers made an astounding discovery deep in the Weddell Sea, the long-lost ship of Antarctic explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton, the Endurance. Sunk in 1915 after being crushed by ice, the vessel rested 3 kilometers below the freezing waters. Remarkably, despite spending over a century in the icy depths, the ship looked almost unchanged from the day it sank. Masts collapsed, rigging tangled, with some damage to the bow. Boots and pottery were also found on the seabed. Most surprisingly, the ship's timbers remained largely intact, and its name, Endurance, was still visible. Marine archaeologist Mensun Bound, part of the discovery team, described the wreck as the best-preserved wooden shipwreck ever found. The Falklands Maritime Heritage Trust led the mission using the South African icebreaker Agulhas, the second and most remote-operated submersible. The search was fraught with challenges, shifting sea ice, blizzards, and temperatures plunging to -18 degrees Celsius. While marine life had colonized the wreck, the lack of wood decay puzzled scientists. The usual wood-eating creatures found elsewhere were absent in the Antarctic, or something mysterious was at play aboard the ship. Rectangular icebergs. In 2018, NASA shared a remarkable sight near the Antarctic Peninsula, a rectangular iceberg spotted by their Ice Bridge aircraft. This iceberg's smooth walls and sharp 90-degree angles made it look like a colossal sheet cake. NASA suggested it had recently broken off from the Larsen C ice shelf. According to Ted Scambos, a senior scientist, the iceberg stands about 130 feet tall and stretches for a mile or two, holding tons of ice. Geophysicist Kristen Poinar explained that icebergs often seem flawless from afar, but are full of cracks. When icebergs break from the expansive Larsen C ice shelf, they usually maintain their rectangular shape due to existing cracks. NASA scientist Eric Rignold noted that the immense size of Larsen C causes these rectangular icebergs to form as rifts cut across the ice shelf. Unlike Greenland, where warmer temperatures create smaller, irregular icebergs, Antarctica faces concerns over ice shelf stability. Larsen A and Larsen B collapsed in 1995 and 2002, respectively. In 2017, a trillion-ton iceberg broke away from Larsen C. Continuous calving could weaken the ice shelf, possibly leading to its collapse. Scientists closely monitor Antarctica's ice melt as global warming affects polar regions. However, Poinar explained that the stability of an ice shelf is like that of a bank account. Calving is balanced by snowfall. Lake Vostok. In the late 19th century, Russian scientist Peter Kropotkin proposed a groundbreaking idea. Fresh water could be beneath Antarctic ice sheets. He suggested that the immense pressure from thousands of meters of ice might lower the melting point enough for the ice at the bottom to turn into liquid water. This theory was later advanced by Russian glaciologist Igor Zhodakov, who explored it in his 1967 PhD thesis. Using seismic soundings during the Soviet Antarctic expedition in 1959 and 1964, Russian geographer Andrei Kapitsa measured the thickness of the ice near Vostok station. Kapitsa was the first to propose the existence of subglacial lakes in the region, a hypothesis that subsequent research confirmed. In the early 1970s, British scientists conducting airborne ice-penetrating radar surveys in Antarctica detected strange radar readings. These readings hinted at the presence of a freshwater lake beneath the ice. Nearly 2 decades later, in 1991, Jeff Ridley, a remote sensing expert from University College London, used the ERS-1 satellite to focus its advanced radar on the heart of the Antarctic ice cap. The data confirmed what the British surveys had suggested in 1973, although these findings were published in 1993 in the Journal of Glaciology. Space-based radar revealed that this subglacial freshwater body is among the world's largest lakes and is one of about 140 lakes hidden beneath Antarctica's ice. Russian and British scientists combined various data sources, airborne radar images, and space-based radar measurements to map out the lake. Their discovery was finally published in Nature's prestigious journal on June 20, 1996. It's confirmed that this lake holds substantial liquid water under more than 3 kilometers of ice. The lake spans at least 22 cavities of liquid water, each averaging about 10 kilometers across. In 2005, an island was discovered in the middle of Lake Vostok. Then, in January 2006, scientists announced finding 2 smaller lakes nearby, under the ice cap named 90 degrees east and Sovetskaya. Researchers suspect a network of underground rivers might connect these Antarctic subglacial lakes. Glaciologists from the Center for Polar Observation and Modeling suggest that many of Antarctica's subglacial lakes are temporarily linked. In 2012, Russian scientists made headlines by drilling into Lake Vostok and collecting water samples from its depths. What they found amazed everyone. Microbial life, though microscopic, was thriving in this harsh environment. Frozen sinkholes in Siberia. Siberia, famed for its expansive frozen landscapes, has captured global attention with an incredible natural wonder: frozen sinkholes, also known as methane craters. These mysterious openings in the Siberian permafrost unveil intricate geological processes and highlight the region's vulnerability to climate change. These frozen sinkholes form when methane gas, trapped beneath Siberia's permafrost, escapes. As global temperatures rise, the permafrost thaws, destabilizing the once solid ground and allowing methane, a potent greenhouse gas, to seep from underground reservoirs. When this gas accumulates and reaches a critical pressure point, it can erupt explosively, creating these unique sinkholes. Siberia's frozen sinkholes are dynamic features that continue to evolve. Mounds of material surround some, while others display a mix of ice, soil, and debris. These features provide scientists valuable insights into the region's geological history and the complex interactions among permafrost, ice, and gas. The release of methane from these sinkholes raises concerns about its impact on global climate change. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas that heats the Earth more rapidly than carbon dioxide over shorter periods. With sinkholes becoming more frequent in Siberia, more methane is entering the atmosphere, exacerbating global warming. 100-year-old hut and timeless fruitcake. Ernest Shackleton, a courageous British explorer, is renowned for his remarkable expeditions to Antarctica in the early 1900s. During his adventurous Nimrod expedition from 1904 to 1909 and the daring Imperial Trans-Antarctic expedition from 1914 to 1917, Shackleton and his team established 2 huts on the continent, one at Cape Royds and another at Cape Evans. These huts have stood resilient for over a century and are incredible symbols of perseverance in the harshest environments. They served as cozy shelters for Shackleton and his companions, helping them endure extreme cold, isolation, and fierce storms while conducting scientific research and embarking on thrilling adventures across the icy wilderness. In 2017, the Antarctic Heritage Trust made a fascinating discovery in one of these huts: a 100-year-old fruitcake, wrapped in paper and stored in a tin. This ancient fruitcake amazingly retained its original taste and texture, providing a tangible link to the past. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.